everyone, Robert the Bruce back again. Today we are looking at jets. We're going to do everything in one video, from basic controls to more advanced maneuvers. This video is intended for a pilot who is struggling with the jets. It's not as much intended for a very experienced pilot who's already pretty good at stuff. That being said, though, hopefully there's a little something here for everybody. First we're going to take a look at the basic controls. And then we'll see a plane in action actually executing these maneuvers in-game, and we'll take it from there. Now, I'm obviously on PS3, but it'll be very similar for Xbox. The biggest thing to remember starting out is the right stick controls your major movements, the pitch and roll of the plane. The left stick controls the yaw, which is only going to be used for minor adjustments in aiming when you're trying to zero in on a target. Now let's take a look in-game at what this looks like. The right stick, just pushing to the right or left, makes the plane roll, like so. Pulling back on the right stick is going to make you climb and even do loops all the way if you keep holding it back. You cannot descend pushing forward near as fast, so if you try and do a loop the opposite direction, you'll end up crashing. Now the way to make a hard bank or a hard turn is to roll the stick halfway one direction and then pull back on the plane. It's going to flip the plane sideways like this, and then start you turning hard in one direction. This is the primary way you're going to be flying around and moving in the level. Now the left stick only makes the minor adjustments we talked about, the yaw of the plane. You see I'm only barely altering the way the nose of the plane is looking left and right as I do this. Again, the main thing to focus on is the right stick is going to do almost all of the controls. Only when you're good enough to be in combat and trying to zero in on a target are you then going to want to use the left stick to finally zero in for that final kill shot right before you start to fire. Throttling up is with R2. You can also turn on afterburners. Clicking in L3, you'll see them kick on and off. You should be aware that it is easier for enemy planes to spot you, even at a distance, if you have the afterburners on. Now, as far as basics go, that's about it. You kind of trial by fire with planes. You got to get in there and start fighting. An important point I want to talk about here, especially for guys starting out, wait until you have the kill shot before you fire your guns. I'm flying all around this guy, trying to get in behind him, trying to get in close enough to where I can get a good kill shot. If you just start blasting away with your machine guns early, he's going to know you're there. You're going to give away your position, and he's going to start taking evasive maneuvers. Now, once he's slowed down a little bit and I can get some good shots in on him, I let loose here, and before long, he's disabled, going down to crash. I can move on to my next target. Another thing you're going to see me do throughout this entire video that I think is very important for beginners to think about is clicking in R3 to switch to an outside view. It is extremely helpful when you're trying to acquire targets starting out, to switch to this view and get a huge look at the battlefield. When you're just stuck in the cockpit and all you can see is straight ahead of you, plus you got the heads-up display getting in the way, switching to an outside view like this, you can see the whole battlefield, you can see other planes, helicopters. I would have missed that if I would have been flying inside, not paying attention, if you don't have air radar or any of the other advanced things starting out. So, especially when you're first starting out, click in R3, switch to an outside view, and get a look at your surroundings. Another helpful tip for guys just starting out, if your plane gets damaged but still has over 50% health like mine does here, you are okay. Your plane will pause for a second at the health it's at, and then it will start to recover health. Keep flying, take evasive maneuvers, you will be okay. Now if it gets below 50%, like it does here, it will then start to go down until it gets to 0 and crashes. Then you will die, so immediately start getting close back to the battlefield again if you get down below 50 and bail out the first chance you get, because you are going down and it's better just to go ahead and save your life at this point and get out of there. Now, when everyone unlocks the heat-seeking air-to-air rockets, they're super excited, just like I was, because they think that now they're going to dominate the skies. Unfortunately, this is not the case, and it's best to practice with the machine guns early. The heat-seeking rockets only really work against other beginners because they give away your position. As soon as you start locking on that enemy, he knows you're there, starts taking evasive action, and the element of surprise is gone. Get good, practice using the machine guns, and once you become a master with those, you can truly start to dominate the skies. And it frees up the heat-seeking rockets to later unlock air-to-ground missiles, and then you become a dominating force even against tanks and can truly assist your team. The split S is an evasive maneuver in which the pilot rolls the plane one direction until it's upside down and then pulls hard back on the stick, thereby reversing his direction 180 degrees. This is very helpful for a couple of reasons. Number one, it will catch most pilots off guard and will almost surely break a lock if they are trying to lock onto you and fire air-to-air missiles. Number two, the increase in airspeed you'll get by accelerating through the half roll as you round your way back out will put some distance between you and your opponent while they're trying to figure out where you went and follow you. This will buy you 1 or 2 seconds that are very precious if you're in the middle of a tough dogfight and at the risk of being shot down. Use them wisely. We'll show that clip one more time so you can get another look at it. Now this is my own very simple modified version of a thatch weave. Basically it involves flying in a diagonal line towards the direction that your friendly pilot is flying. This gives you a great opportunity to get in behind them, see the threats that are tailing him, and take them out. Now an actual thatch weave involves pilots coordinating movements with each other, scissoring back and forth, and you're very rarely going to have another pilot on the team that you're communicating with and actually coordinating attacks with. So what I like to do is just if you're coming into the battle from an outside perspective, look in, see where your friendly pilot is, they're easy to spot on the map, and then start flying diagonally towards them to pick off the enemy. Let's take one more look at that from the beginning, and you'll see the enemy out ahead of me as I'm flying in to take out the guys behind him. Now, if you're being locked on and you know there's no enemy jets around or helicopters, it's obviously coming from the ground. One of the easiest ways to get out of this is just to kick on the afterburners and head straight up into the sky. Gain a lot of altitude and kick out your flares to dodge the first rocket. By the time he reloads his second rocket, you'll be well out of his range and safe. Get your bearings, get away from the battlefield for a second. He'll get bored and go do something else, and then you can swing back in and get back into the fight. Now, sometimes, if you're in the middle of a fight, like here, and you kick out your flares, dodge one rocket, and another guy's locking onto you again, well, you don't have time to get up in the air. That second rocket's going to take you down. Get low, get behind some terrain, and they will lose the lock. By the time that happens, you've got your flares back and you're safe. This is about the only way to dodge a missile if you can't get enough altitude to get away from them. Use the throttle to your advantage. If you're going fast, holding L2 down and drastically decreasing your airspeed while banking will give you a really tight turn. You can get ahead of your enemy that way. Consequently, going slow and holding down R2 and stepping on the throttle while you're banking increases your airspeed and also gives you a quick turn. Use these to your advantage. If you fly at the same speed all the time, it's going to be pretty easy for an advanced pilot to get in behind you and take you down. Also, please do not fly in a straight line. Do not even remotely fly in a straight line if there is any chance danger is around. If you're taking slower turns or lazily just kind of rolling back and forth, it is so easy for someone to take you down. I am constantly moving, swerving, rolling. You have to be. Otherwise, an experienced pilot is going to spot you as an easy kill, and that'll be the end of it. Always be moving, and it makes you a much harder target to take down. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If I helped you in any way, please like the video. It really motivates me to do more of them. And if you have a suggestion or something that you're struggling with in the game, let me know through the YeshGaming channel, and I'll try to make a video about it and help you out. This is Robert the Bruce, and remember, only rookies spawn camp enemy planes.